everybody. Welcome to Common Censored. I'm Lee Camp, joined by Eleanor Goldfield.
Hello.
This is the show where we talk censored stories and people, sensible solutions, and common ground movements to fight and build.
And sometimes other shit.
And if you love that opening song, and maybe you've even checked out the others on that album, No Logo, or EP.
No solo.
Jesus. That's the second time I've fucking done that.
I know. I'm beginning to think that you like Naomi Klein more than me.
You know what it is? It's the O, letter O. It's very similar.
Okay, whatever,
And weirdly,
whatever
when you
helps
told
you
me
sleep.
the name, I didn't think it was similar. But now that I keep fucking it up, I'm realizing it's similar. Anyway, No Solo. If you like that opening song, the vinyl is here. The incredible vinyl. It's fucking red, okay? Which I've never even seen red translucent vinyl. I don't know what the fuck goes on at the Magical Fairy store where they make that shit. I don't know what that made out of. Anyway, if you want to grab your limited edition signed vinyl, where should they go?
artkillingapathy.com.
Cool. And I'll bring that up again later. But so a quick note, you might, if you're looking at our podcast list on your phone or your app or whatever the fuck you have there, or maybe you're just intuiting this episode, you will notice that this is a short episode. You may have also noticed that we missed last week. We are going to take a bit of a hiatus for family stuff, but we wanted to throw a short episode out there to just say hi, say we haven't forgotten you, we're not disappearing. We have not been banned from podcasting. So I know people will get deleted nowadays when they speak about the issues we do. So that is not what's happening. We're taking a hiatus of a few weeks for family stuff, and we will be back.
Yes.
But we figured we didn't want to just give you that sentence as the episode today.
Well, it's not worth all the equipment set up, to be perfectly honest.
Fair point. So we thought we'd go through a few stories quickly, and this will be a bit of a shorter episode. And then we'll go on our holiday hiatus, which I feel after a number of episodes, we've earned.
Yes.
I feel like we've earned it.
Yes. And I hope
180 some.
I hope y'all can take a little bit of a rest as well, because rest is radical. So do that shit.
There you go. So let's start. And this is a mostly good news episode. I mean, they're all good episodes. Mostly good news episode. So first of all, which you probably didn't hear if you watch mainstream media, Honduras became the latest country to undo a U.S.-backed coup.
Whee!
Unfortunately, unlike Bolivia, whose U.S.-backed coup lasted 1 year, Honduras has lasted 12 years. It was done 12 years ago under the, I believe, Obama administration with Hillary Clinton at the helm, creating a coup in Honduras. And the left wing, the socialists that has recaptured the top spot in the government of Honduras is the wife of the one that was deposed, that was kicked out. So this is a victory for Xiomara Castro de la Zaya, the socialist candidate, and she is the wife of the man who was kicked out in the U.S.-backed coup in Honduras. That led to 12 years of right-wing fucking shit show down there, which the U.S. loved. And you'll notice we haven't had sanctions against Honduras in the past 12 years. We haven't been opposed or upset with them. We don't have news broadcast about how their athlete did something we don't like, or, the guy that was playing highlight was, he did corruption. None of that. You didn't hear any of that because we like right-wing fucking fascist governments. We love it. And anyway, this is the latest one to fucking kick us to the curb.
Amen. Well done, and may it spread. May this Christmas cheer spread.
May it spread is right. And if you want more details on that, this is a shorter episode, so we're not getting into the nitty-gritty on that. But if you want more details, we have them at radindiemedia.com. Just go over there. It's the website we created, and you will find a few stories on Honduras. So, yeah.
And it's just in general a really great place to get your daily digest for rad independent news. So you can sign up for the newsletter. It'll just pop up in your inbox. And it's all the news that corporate media won't touch. So please do check that out. Share it with your friends. Post about it, etc., etc.
So let's jump to our next story, which not really a good news story. But we'll get back to good news. Don't worry. Don't you fret.
No. So there are a couple of I just actually read this today that there's another variant that's popped up in Europe that doesn't have a fancy name like Omicron. It's like AY or something. But
before we get to the story, can I just add something?
Yeah.
The variant thing, it's like some of these variants are worse, some of them are not as bad, but our mainstream media, and maybe our government, although I don't really know who pushes this shit, but doesn't take the time to figure that out. They just run around and go, oh my God, new variant, holy shit, hair on fire. It's like evidence is coming forward that the Omicron virus variant is less harmful than many of the others. And yet, the way they were talking about it in the mainstream media was like, oh, all is lost. The Omicron variant is here.
Yeah, and I think so that the other one I just found it's AY 4.2, which come on, guys.
Oh, I love that. That's my favorite variant of all the variants.
So this one has just appeared in late November, early December. The Omicron popped up a little bit before then. But one note on that before I get to the next point, a lot of people are calling it like, oh, this is the South African variant, or this is no, it's not. It was discovered in South Africa. And incidentally, someone posted about this.
Because they're dirty.
I know.
Dirty down there.
Someone posted about this recently and pointed out it was found in South Africa because South Africa has such powerful research facilities with regards to communicable diseases, because they've had to, with regards to AIDS and with regards to Ebola and things like that. They're actually putting the work in, unlike places like the US. So it does not mean that Omicron stems from South Africa. That's actually really factually inaccurate. And of course, it leads to more racism, more colonialism, more imperialist ideas and paradigms to suggest that, oh my gosh, all these variants are just popping up in the dirty, to quote Trump, shithole countries, when in reality the shithole countries are the ones like us that are holding on to the vaccine, perpetuating what folks are calling vaccine apartheid.
It'd be like saying Ronald Reagan started Alzheimer's. No, he was just the first to do it as president. Okay, that doesn't mean he started it.
So, and this point about vaccine apartheid, and whatever the fuck you feel about the vaccine is immaterial to this point. This is really about the idea of holding on to life-saving medicine as quote-unquote intellectual property, as opposed to treating it as what it is, which is life-saving medicine.
Right.
And this is something that's happened with, a lot of things. The COVID vaccine is just the latest and the biggest news because it affects the entire world. But this is something we've been seeing for a long time. And really, it's just a perpetuation of, as I said, colonialism and imperialism. So you have, the majority of Europe and the United States, for instance, being fully vaccinated. And then you have like 2% of Africa being fully vaccinated. And the rest of the world, or, Europe and the US being like, oh gosh, we're past where, COVID is over, the pandemic's done. And it's like, no. First of all, that's a very fucking Eurocentric and imperialist perspective, but it also really loses the thread in the fact that new variants will continue to pop up. And as, I'm looking at this New Scientist article that says that, AY 4.2 and Omicron have been shown to be less deadly, but that doesn't mean that the next variant won't be more deadly. And you leave room for more variants the longer that you hold on to the vaccine as intellectual property, as opposed to ensuring that everybody fucking has access to it.
Vaccines and legit treatments. They do the same shit with treatment, which if they were to just say, hey, here's the treatment, we found it out, it's free for everyone, just have it in your bathroom at home in case one of you comes down with symptoms, you can treat it quickly and effectively and be far less likely to end up in a hospital, far less likely to end up walking around town for a week spreading it. So, yeah, it's with treatment too.
Yeah.
It's not just the vaccine, but yeah.
Absolutely. And there was an interesting article in The Guardian, which, no, I don't like The Guardian, but, a blind squirrel every now and then. So even the article is basically highlighting that even the IMF and World Bank are saying that in order to really effectively battle COVID, you have to kind of treat poor people like they're people. Which is a bummer, I know, because we've worked so hard to avoid that.
If they're like the Washington Post or New York Times, they did it as an opinion piece where it was
Right.
like, should the world treat poor countries as humans?
Right, exactly. It's more of like a philosophical question.
a thought experiment.
Right. As opposed to like a basic demand for human rights. But yeah, when you even have the IMF and World Bank, who, if you don't know about their track record, just look at our track record vis-a-vis coups and imperialist, violence around the world.
The IMF and World Bank basically do with debt what the U.S. Empire, the British Empire did with guns.
Right, exactly. Very well put. It's an economic warfare machine. And even they are being like, look, we don't want to say this, but poor people are, they're people too, and we're going to have to give them some treatment if we want to get over this pandemic. And it's really remarkable when you see organizations like that saying that. It means that that's how bad that it's gotten. That even the IMF and World Bank are like, yeah, well, poor people.
And even similarly, and I covered this on Redacted Tonight a bit ago, one of the top executives at the World Health Organization, which is now in many ways a subsidiary of Bill Gates, because he is such a massive donor, more than almost all other countries, that they basically have to vet everything through him. Even one of those top executives at WHO said, yeah, we are opposed to vaccine passports when it comes to travel, education, and work, because you end up creating a multi-tiered society where the poor are far less likely to get vaccinated. They're far less likely to either understand the need for it or understand where to get it or have the time off work to go get it or whatever, or have the money in some circumstances. And therefore, you're creating it's like Trump's Muslim ban, but it's a liberal version where we just say, oh, Africa can't come to the U.S. because no one's vaccinated.
Right, and that's a good way of putting it, because it's basically like it allows liberals to say, well, look, it's not that we have anything against Africans.
The dirty, dirty Africans.
It's just that they might be diseased, and that's not our problem. That's just, that just happens to be how it is right now. So yeah, it's the sort of backhanded way of doing the extreme racist imperialism. Nice.
So with that said, we move into we got one or two more stories, but we're gonna get back to good news.
Yes. And really quick, I just wanted to share, this is just an event, not just an event, sorry, it's a rad event to uplift the badasses on the front lines of the climate fight. It's the 2021 Frack Tracker Community Sentinel Awards.
I can't imagine awards actually for something that means a
I know.
goddamn thing. It's like every award in our society is like the MTV Movie Awards, where we let actors know we love them, or Oscars, or fucking...
Because they didn't know.
There are no award shows for like positive things. It's almost exclusively like just
vapid shit.
Well, for millionaires, fucking multi-millionaires to feel good about themselves. That is it.
Actually, you know what? We were just recently watching Scrooged, the movie with the movie with Bill Murray. No.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry. And there's this scene and he's like this awful TV exec and such a piece of shit.
As the story of Scrooge goes, he starts out as an awful piece of shit. Yeah.
And one of the scenes at the beginning is him going to this awards ceremony where he gets awarded a humanitarian award.
It's like a little trophy of like a guy helping a little boy.
Right. And this is right after he told a homeless guy to go fuck himself, and he's just like an awful human being. And then he gets a humanitarian award. It's kind of like the Koch brothers being called philanthropists,
Yeah, and he says in his acceptance speech, "I will cherish this forever," and then he leaves it in the cab.
Yeah,
intentionally.
Anyway, so these awards are put on by Frack Tracker, which, if you're not familiar with their work, please check them out. They're so fucking important and amazing. they, like the name suggests, track fracking operations and the broad scope of fracking operations all over the country. They do amazing work, both in terms of research and reconnaissance and all this work. And they really helped me in the creation of my documentary. So they're a totally badass organization. And they have this Community Sentinel Awards every year. I was asked to be one of the judges this year. And just reading about the folks that are included in this is so fucking inspiring and so powerful. And I think it really is an important reminder of the incredible work that's being done on the front lines. And also how, we can... It's never too little. It's never too late. And it's really important that we support the people doing this kind of work and be those people if we can, There are dirty energy projects wherever you live in this country. And you can get involved in, supporting the fight against them and the fight to build something better. So those are happening December 9th. And that's Thursday.
A virtual ceremony. So,
yes. Yeah. You can get your tickets via Frack Tracker. And basically the four people that the four
winners.
Sorry, thank you. You get to hear their stories. One of them I know personally, actually. I met him in Cancer Alley in Louisiana, an incredible person that's just been working so hard for his community down there. And you'll also get to hear stories. And
if any of you are having trouble finding cancer, that's a good place to find some.
if you're in the market.
Yeah, if you're in the market.
So basically that's happening December 9th. You can check that out. Again, the Community Sentinel Award for Environmental Stewardship, which recognizes activists who fight against environmental injustice perpetuated by the oil, gas, and petrochem industries.
And the URL for this might sound a little confusing, but it's actually not that hard. It's bit.ly, so that's L-Y, bit.ly/Sentinel 2021.
Yeah.
So...
Cool. Let's wrap it up.
Wrap it up with some more good news out of Minneapolis.
Yeah. Hashtag we keep us safe and hashtag ACAB. People in Minneapolis are calling each other instead of the cops.
Yes. That idea of, kind of communities standing up for themselves rather than calling in racist, fascist thugs to come shoot at black people.
Yeah, and this really, Minneapolis, folks might recall from last summer, was really kind of an epicenter of the fight against police brutality. And it's really powerful to see that despite the broken promises of defunding the police, which did not happen in Minneapolis nor really anywhere else, despite that, people are basically saying, okay, well, it doesn't fucking matter. We just won't contact you. We are going to make the choice to push you out of our communities and push you out of our lives by never inviting you in. It's like vampires. It's like, no, you can't come in. And granted, of course, they come into communities anyway. But I think this is a really powerful step and something that really shows that we have the power to build alternatives to police. Mm-hmm. We don't have to wait for them to be defunded or wait for them to be abolished. We can be the alternative now.
And I'm not going to do my stand-up bit about this because I know I've done it on the podcast probably a few times, but it just goes back to even if you're not someone who says, abolish police or stuff like that, even if that sounds really scary to you or wrong or something, that doesn't change the fact that you probably agree guys with guns, and let's be clear, men and women with guns, showing up is the answer very rarely. There's an incredibly small number of events where people with guns running in who have no idea what's happened or what is happening will solve that. And yet, cops are called for just about fucking everything in our society. So if you start with that premise, then what would solve that if you're unable to decrease the number of cops, unable to defund the police because those have to do with what politicians do? Then one of the solutions would be to stop calling them for everything. And that can be done if the alternatives are built up.
Right.
So, I think this is just a great thing that's happened in Minneapolis so far.
Yes, and again, like the Honduras thing, let's spread that.
Let's infect
Spread it
others.
around.
Let's infect others with something other than communicable diseases.
Amen.
So, quick note: Eleanor's album is here. It's new. It's a vinyl with 3 new songs, 2 new spoken word pieces, including the anthem to this show, and it's a beautiful vinyl. Makes a great gift or makes a great thing for you to have for yourself. And you can get the limited edition signed vinyl at artkillingapathy.com. And yeah, I think you should check it out. One note is you need a vinyl player that plays on 45 speed.
Yes.
So, and did I miss anything about that?
No, thank you. You are now hired as my PR person.
Woo-hoo. More cash in my pocket. So other notes is check out radindiemedia.com. As I said, we're going on a brief hiatus, but we'll be back. Have no fear. Thank you all for all
Not
your...
Rad Indie Media. Rad Indie Media is not going on hiatus.
Yes, Rad Indie Media.
We, as in common censored.
Rad Indie Media will continue going, and if you're hungry for more content, then check out Rad Indie Media because there's plenty of awesome people there putting out great shit. But this Common Censored, along with Redacted Tonight, along with Moment of Clarity, all of that is going on somewhat of a hiatus, more so or less so, depending on the variety of projects. But bit hiatus for family stuff, and we will be back soon. And if you want to see this show keep going, please go to liberapay.com/LeeCamp, liberapay.com/LeeCamp, and become a member over there for as little as $1. And what else? Start Killing Apathy. I said that.
I think you covered it.
I'm out. I'm tapped out.
Leave it on a high note.
Thank you guys for joining us, and keep fighting.
Act out.